Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night thinking about the future? Maybe you've wondered what the next 10, 20 years might look like, what you'll be able to do, who you'll share your days with, and how you'll keep enjoying the little things like a morning walk or a cup of tea with a friend. If you're anything like me, you want to stick around for as long as possible, and not just to add years to your life, but life to your years. But there's a question that nags at so many of us as we get older: what really puts us at risk, and what can we actually do about it? The truth is, most people over 70 don't die from random chance or bad luck. In fact, the vast majority, around 90%, pass away from just 4 main causes. That might sound scary, but here's the good news. These causes are largely preventable. That means there's so much you can do starting today to stack the odds in your favor. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. I'll walk you through each of these 4 big risks, and more importantly, I'll show you simple, practical steps you can take to protect yourself and keep living the life you love. Let's start with the first one, and it's a biggie: heart disease. Now, I know you've probably heard about heart disease 1,000 times before. It's on the news, in magazines, and maybe even in your own family. But did you know that heart disease is still the #1 cause of death for people over 70? That's not because it's inevitable, but because so many of us fall into the same traps, ignoring high blood pressure, shrugging off cholesterol numbers, or thinking that a little chest pain is just part of getting older. I remember talking to my neighbor Bill, who's 75. He always seemed so healthy, walking his dog every morning, mowing his own lawn. But one day, he started feeling a little more tired than usual. He brushed it off, thinking he was just getting old. A few weeks later, he ended up in the hospital with a heart attack. Thankfully, he recovered, but it was a wake-up call for both of us. The signs were there, but they were easy to ignore. So what can you do to protect your heart? It's not about running marathons or eating nothing but salad. It's about making small, steady changes. Start by checking your blood pressure regularly at home, at the pharmacy, or at your doctor's office. If it's creeping up, talk to your doctor about ways to bring it down. And don't forget about cholesterol. Even if you feel fine, those numbers matter. Eating more fruits and vegetables, cutting back on processed foods, and choosing healthy fats like olive oil and nuts can make a world of difference. And if you smoke, I know it's tough, but quitting is the single best thing you can do for your heart. Every little step counts. Now let's talk about the second big risk: cancer. Just hearing the word can make your heart skip a beat. But here's something you might not know. Many of the most common cancers in older adults are preventable or can be caught early when they're much easier to treat. The trick is not to wait for symptoms. Regular screenings are your best friend. Colon cancer, for example, can often be found early with a simple test, and the same goes for breast and prostate cancer. I know no one looks forward to these appointments, but they can truly save your life. I have a dear friend named Linda who put off her colonoscopy for years. She was nervous, embarrassed, and just didn't want to deal with it. But when she finally went, they found a small polyp. Nothing scary yet, but it could have turned into something much worse if she'd waited. She got it removed and now tells everyone she knows to get checked. It's a small inconvenience for a lot of peace of mind. Of course, prevention isn't just about tests. It's also about your daily choices. Limiting alcohol, staying active, and eating a diet rich in colorful fruits and vegetables can help lower your risk. And don't forget about sun protection. Skin cancer is more common as we age, but a hat and some sunscreen go a long way. So we've talked about heart disease and cancer, 2 of the biggest threats, but also 2 of the most preventable. The choices you make every day, from what you eat to how often you move, really do add up over time. And the best part is, it's never too late to start. Whether you're 60, 70, or even 90, your body can still respond to positive changes. Now that we've covered these first 2 major risks, let's move on to the next cause that often catches people by surprise, but is just as preventable with a few smart habits. The third cause is something that doesn't always make the headlines, but it quietly affects so many people as they get older: chronic respiratory diseases. You might know them as things like COPD, emphysema, or even just plain old bad lungs. Maybe you've noticed yourself or someone you care about getting winded more easily or coughing a bit more than usual, especially in the colder months. It's easy to brush off shortness of breath as just another part of aging, but it's often a sign that your lungs need a little extra attention. I remember my Uncle Joe, who always had a raspy voice and a stubborn cough. He'd smoked for decades, and even after he quit, he never really thought about his lungs again. It wasn't until he started struggling to walk up the stairs that he realized something wasn't right. By then, his doctor told him he had the early stages of COPD. It was a tough pill to swallow, but what surprised him most was how much better he felt after making a few changes. He started walking every day, even if it was just around the block, and he learned some breathing exercises from his doctor. Over time, his cough eased up, and he found he could do more without getting so tired. That's the thing about lung health: it's never too late to make improvements. If you've ever smoked, or even if you've just been exposed to a lot of dust or pollution over the years, your lungs might be working harder than they need to. The best thing you can do is avoid smoke and strong fumes whenever possible. If you're still smoking, please talk to someone you trust about quitting. It's not easy, but your lungs will thank you every single day you go without a cigarette. But it's not just about what you avoid, it's about what you add in. Gentle exercise like walking or even stretching helps your lungs work more efficiently. And don't underestimate the power of fresh air. Open a window, spend time outside, or bring a few houseplants into your home. They can help clean the air and lift your spirits too. If you notice you're getting more short of breath, or you're coughing more than usual, don't ignore it. A quick checkup with your doctor can catch problems early, and sometimes a simple inhaler or medication can make a world of difference. Now let's talk about the fourth cause, and this one is often the most surprising: falls and the complications that come from them. It might not sound as dramatic as heart disease or cancer, but falls are a leading reason why so many people over 70 end up in the hospital, and sadly, they can lead to a rapid decline in health. I know it's not something anyone likes to think about. We all want to believe we're steady on our feet and as sure-footed as we were in our younger days. But the truth is, even a small stumble can have big consequences. I'll never forget when my neighbor Mrs. Harris tripped on a loose rug in her hallway. She'd always been active, always on the go, but that one fall changed everything. She broke her hip, and even though she got great care, it took months for her to get back to her old self. She told me later that she wished she'd paid more attention to the little things like making sure her floors were clear and having good lighting in the hallway. So, what can you do to stay steady and safe? Start by looking around your home. Are there any loose rugs, cords, or clutter that could trip you up? Is there enough light in the places you walk most often, especially at night? Sometimes just adding a nightlight or moving a piece of furniture can make a big difference. And don't forget about your shoes. Choose ones with good support and non-slip soles, even when you're just shuffling around the house. But preventing falls isn't just about your environment, it's also about keeping your body strong. Simple exercises that focus on balance and leg strength, like standing on one foot while holding onto the kitchen counter or doing a few gentle squats each day, can help you feel more confident and stable. If you use a cane or walker, make sure it's the right height and that you're comfortable using it. And if you ever feel dizzy or unsteady, don't hesitate to ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself. As we talk about these 4 big causes: heart disease, cancer, lung problems, and falls, it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed. But remember, every small step you take makes a difference. Whether it's choosing a healthier snack, taking a short walk, or just clearing a path through your living room, you're investing in your future. you're giving yourself the best chance to keep enjoying the things you love with the people who matter most. Now that we've explored how these risks can sneak up on us, let's spend some time focusing on the simple daily habits that can help you avoid them, not just for a few years, but for a lifetime of better health and happiness. When you really think about it, all these risks, heart disease, cancer, lung problems, and falls, can feel like big, scary words. But the truth is, they're often the result of tiny choices we make every day. And that's actually good news, because it means you have more power than you might realize. It's not about being perfect or suddenly turning into a health nut overnight. It's about weaving a few simple habits into your routine, one step at a time, until they become just another part of your day. Let's start with something that's easy for everyone: moving your body. I know exercise can sound intimidating, but it doesn't have to mean sweating at the gym or running laps around the block. It can be as simple as a walk around your neighborhood stretching while you watch your favorite show, or even dancing in your living room to a song that makes you smile. The key is to keep your muscles and joints working, because that's what keeps your heart strong, your bones sturdy, and your balance sharp. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference. If you're not sure where to start, try standing up and sitting down from a sturdy chair a few times, or marching in place while you wait for the kettle to boil. Every little bit counts. Another habit that's just as important is paying attention to what you eat. You don't have to give up all your favorite foods, but try to fill your plate with more colors. Think leafy greens, bright berries, orange carrots, and deep red tomatoes. These foods are packed with vitamins and antioxidants that help protect your heart, lower your cancer risk, and keep your mind sharp. And don't forget about protein: beans, eggs, fish, and lean meats. All help keep your muscles strong, which is key for preventing falls. If you're not sure how to start, maybe pick one meal a day to make a little healthier. Add some spinach to your eggs in the morning, or swap white bread for whole grain at lunch. Small changes add up faster than you think. Let's talk about another habit that often gets overlooked: staying connected. Loneliness and isolation can creep in as we get older, especially if friends and family move away or we lose touch with old routines. But staying social isn't just good for your mood, it's good for your health too. People who stay connected with others tend to live longer and have fewer health problems. So make a point to call a friend, join a club, or even just chat with your neighbor when you see them outside. If you're not sure where to start, look for community centers, libraries, or local groups that offer activities for seniors. You might be surprised how much joy a simple conversation can bring. And here's something that might sound a little silly, but it's more important than you think. Pay attention to your feet. That's right, your feet. So many falls happen because of sore feet, slippery socks, or shoes that don't fit quite right. Take a moment each day to check your feet for any pain, swelling, or changes in color. Make sure your shoes are comfortable and have good grip. If you notice any problems, talk to your doctor or a podiatrist. Happy feet mean better balance, and better balance means fewer falls. One more thing: don't be afraid to ask for help. Whether it's a ride to a doctor's appointment, a hand with heavy groceries, or just someone to check in on you now and then reaching out, isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. We're all in this together, and sometimes the best way to stay healthy is to lean on each other. If you have family nearby, let them know how you're doing and what you need. If you don't, there are so many organizations and resources out there that are ready to lend a hand. Now, as we wrap up, I want you to remember something: you have so much to look forward to. Every day is a chance to make a new choice, to try something different, and to take one more step toward the life you want. Maybe you'll start by taking a short walk after breakfast, or calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Maybe you'll pick up a new hobby, or finally clear that cluttered hallway to make your home safer. Whatever it is, know that you're doing something good for yourself, and that's worth celebrating. If you've made it this far, I want to thank you for spending your time with me. Your health and happiness matter, and I hope you feel inspired to take those small steps that can make a big difference. I'd love to hear what changes you're making or what's worked for you in the past. Share your story in the comments below. You never know who you might inspire. And if you found these tips helpful, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more advice, stories, and support. We're building a community of people who care about living well, staying strong, and making the most of every single day. Here's to you, to your health, and to all the wonderful adventures still ahead.